Bob Seeley, the Conservative MP who's on the Foreign Affairs Select Committee and who's in Hong Kong observing the protests, is on the line. Good morning to you.
Hi, good morning.
I don't know if you heard what Joshua Wong said then about what he would like the British government to do. I mean, effectively, this idea that's already been raised of allowing visas or possibly even giving passports to people who don't have them at the moment to give some sort of guarantees. Is that a direction of travel you think we should be looking at?
I think the call to just swap a B&O passport, which is what Hong Kongers has for British citizenship, may not be a realistic one. But I do think there's things that we can do to support the Hong Kongers, specifically when it comes to passports more. So, for example, we can give immediate right to work in the UK for Hong Kong citizens who have B&O passports, and we can shorten significantly the process by which they go through to get full residency in the UK and citizenship. So it just gives some of them more options, and it shows our support for them. So I certainly think there is more that we can do, and I'll be taking that up with the Home Secretary when I get back.
You think the British government should do that now?
Yes, I do. I certainly think we need to start thinking seriously about it. What's quite clear in the direction of travel here in Hong Kong specifically is that the Chinese state is trying to replace the one country, two systems over a period of time with the one country, one system. And the activists here are trying to fight, and that includes hundreds of thousands of people here, are trying to fight against that because they like the freedoms and the way of life enshrined in basic law.
Of course, what the Chinese government have said is that there is violence directed against the authorities, that there are some people there, they've even called them terrorists. From what you've seen and the people you've talked to, what is fueling it?
I certainly don't, in any way, shape, or form, support those people who are promoting violence because A, it's unethical, and B, it's not going to achieve anything. And I just think you'll alienate people. I think what is happening here is a process, as I've said, by which the Chinese state or Beijing is trying to replace the one country, two systems with a one country, one system. And you see this not just in Hong Kong, but one of the great issues that I know we're obsessed by Brexit at the moment, but there are big changes happening in the world. One of the things that we're going to be dealing with in the next 10, 20, 30 years is not only the rise of Chinese power, but also, sadly, an increasing authoritarian approach to that power by the Chinese state. Whether that's internally, in the Chinese state establishing its own surveillance state in Xinjiang province and elsewhere, whether it's the attempt to change the one country, two systems in Hong Kong, whether it's an increasing hectoring and bullying attitude towards its neighbors, including Taiwan, or whether it's attempts to dominate the 5G global system and make sure that Huawei, for example, has a role in providing 5G, and other Chinese companies have a role in providing 5G in our own country. So you're seeing an assertive China, but also, sadly, an increasingly authoritarian China.
And unfortunately, is it not the case that you're seeing those things with an American president who doesn't really care about human rights around the world?
Yeah, I think the conversation about Donald Trump is a different one. I think Donald Trump may well be very good for Britain regards Brexit, but Western values need defending, and liberal values need defending. And along with the rise of China, there are going to be two models of development that the world will have, the two visions of human development in the 21st century. One of them broadly is the Western liberal model of people, all of us living under law, and our political leaders living under laws and obeying laws, and our data being at least partially protected against people who could abuse it. The other model of human development is the authoritarian model being championed, sadly, by China and Russia and some of their allies throughout the world. And there's no guarantee that the Western model will win, and we need to fight and defend that model and promote that model of human development in the course of the 21st century. And that's why the Hong Konger struggle is in part a universal struggle as well. And although this is part of China now, we still, through the Sino-British Declaration, have a vehicle by which we can talk about this. And I hope that we will be vocal in defense of Hong Kongers' rights, because they are important to people here and they are universal as well.
Bob Seeley and Joshua Wong as well. Thank you both very much. And we're saying just before we go to the weather that in various parts of Hong Kong, we can see the live pictures being fed to us by the Reuters news agency and others as well. People are gathering. Now, they're not allowed to protest today, but what they seem to be doing is sort of standing around chanting some of them just walking with those umbrellas that we've got used to seeing. It's quite strong rain. A lot of people, impossible to know at this stage how many, but obviously risking arrest for what the Chinese authorities say is illegal assembly. All of that happening now.